Okie dokie. Let's see if everything's working fine. Oh. Hello everyone. Good evening from California. Welcome to session 49. Apologies for this morning. I was not feeling good. I just needed to sleep in. I've had insomnia. And I'm also just double checking the audio right now. Okay, it looks like everything is fine, so yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So welcome to session 49. Our stream itinerary today includes Greetings, English for Everyone, chapter 19 and 20, most likely. I'll try to finish 20 tonight. And we have questions, comments, concerns, and suggestions. So first things first, we have greetings. So yeah, this morning, I could not sleep until like 1 in the morning, and I told myself, you know, I am most likely gonna wake up at 4 before work, or before the stream. But I didn't really want to force myself when the day before or prior to that, I couldn't sleep. So I had a really bad case of insomnia. I just had a lot of stress on my mind. And you know what I mean, like, if you have a high level of stress, sometimes it can rob you of your sleep. And that's what happened to me the night before. I truly tried to go to sleep. I was like looking through my phone. I was saying, okay, I'm gonna be okay. But no, I was still kind of recovering from my insomnia. So I did try to get some sleep in. And when I woke up at 4 this morning, I was like, you know, I typed in a message saying that I wouldn't make it for a conversation practice because I was just out of it. And I was so exhausted yesterday that I couldn't work on the presentation for you guys for conversation practice. So yeah, unfortunately, I just needed to call out for mental health and also for physical health because I needed to sleep. So here I am for the grammar. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started with our next segment, which is English for Everyone. Okay, let me pull up the page here. Awesome. I just want to make sure everything looks good so far. Okay, so we have vocabulary, Henry's family. Today's vocabulary will just be centralized around just family members, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and repeat what I usually do for you guys, which is just say the word twice or 3 times. Say it as the original speed that I would normally say it. Then I would repeat myself. Stressing like if there's any if there are any words that need to be stressed in certain areas, or I'll say it slowly the second time, whichever you want to call that, and then I will say it in the normal speed again for the 3rd time. So you can go ahead and shadow or just copy how I say it if you wish to acquire the Californian accent, which is what I have. But yeah, as long as you say it clearly and as close as possible, it should be fine with how you say these words. So the first one, the word here is actually has two pronunciation. I'm also going to provide in blue something I called IPA or International Phonetic Alphabet. So the first word has 2 pronunciations. So we have the first one being aunt. Okay, aw, as an aw sound. Aunt or aunt. So we have 2 ways to say the word. Again, aunt, aunt, aunt. Or aunt, aunt, aunt. So as far as I know with these pronunciation, you can actually say either pronunciation in American English, but if you were to say that in British English, it wouldn't make sense, because if you say the word aunt would be correct when you're talking about a female relative who is your mother's relative or sibling, etc. That would make the most sense for UK English. Okay, this is really important. As far as I looked into watching a pronunciation comparison video, aunt is specifically UK English or British English that uses pronunciation when you're referring to that female family member. But if you say the word ant, they think about the insect, the ant. Like, they are distinguished. But for these two, this is both okay with US. I know this because some people would say Aunt May if you watched the Spider-Man films. Aunt May. Or I know a lot of my relatives, when we start using the English word, sorry, I was gonna say, like, because like in my family, so if you guys know, I have a Filipino background. We used to say tita and tito. So tita for females, tito for males, and a lot of times my Americanized relatives, they would typically say auntie, like, hi auntie, how are you auntie, instead of saying auntie or aunt. They say aunt and auntie. So as far as I know, aunt and aunt are interchangeable in the US. We have cousin, cousin, cousin. So the stress would be at the front here. Okay, and then we have the separation right here. I'm putting a little dot in the middle so you can see it. Cousin. Okay. We have sister-in-law. Oh, sorry, we're gonna go down this way this time. Right here. So we have mother, mother, mother. So again, the stress is at the front. Mother. There you go. That's a separation there. You can also say mom. I know in the UK they say mum. The pronunciation even sounds like that. Mum. With the schwa. Mum. And then this one's mom. Don't be fooled by it when you see the brackets. Remember, the brackets are... These are your IPA... Or IPA pronunciations. Good. Then we have father, father, father. You have dad, dad, dad. And then, sorry, I'm gonna go straight down here. I don't know why I keep moving this. We have Henry, which is our reference here. Henry. Henry is married, so he has a wife. 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 So this one, I always feel like it's not really stressed. My wife? Wife. I feel like it's like, when I do IPA, I feel like it's this. These little dots here are supposed to represent that there's a stress pattern that's going on. Like, it's being elongated. Wife. Notice how my eye is like being held out a little bit longer? That's what's being represented here by this icon. It's supposed to tell you that it's being held a little bit longer. So I think it's pronounced wife. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. And then we have sister-in-law. 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 And sister-in-law, as you guys know, the wife here, since Henry married his wife has a sister, and his relationship to his wife's sister is his sister-in-law. Kind of, that's pretty much self-explanatory. So I have this annoying thing on my page. Okay. Alright, moving on. We have his father, Henry's father, has a brother, so his uncle, and he has two other cousins. So as you can see, the reference here, the cousins, we don't have a gender, feminine or masculine. Sorry, not to mention like gender words. We do have gender words, but in English we don't have gendered words anymore. An example of gendered words or masculine or feminine words. For example, in Spanish, anytime it ends with an A is a feminine word. Anything that ends with an O is a masculine word. So as you can see, they're putting icons here that represents that we don't have any gendered words in English anymore. There used to be. There is evidence of that from my historical linguistics class when I've taken it in university, But yeah, we got rid of them. So modern day English does not have gendered words. We have, anyways, back on topic, we have uncle, uncle, uncle. So the stress is at the front again. And this one's important because before this, you don't say uncle, it's ang. Well, there's a G kind of sound here. So if I were to, that's not the word I'm looking for. IPA, ang. Yeah, sorry, let me just rewrite that again. We have schwa. Then we have the G curve, ang, kol. There can be an argument here about dark L, which would make sense, uncle, like that, uncle. Okay, then again, we have cousin, cousin, cousin. Okay, now we move down to Sarah's family in figure 19.2. If my screen will scroll down. Okay. We have Sarah. She's going to be our point of reference. Then we have her husband, husband, husband. So we have husband. Yeah. So the A here sounds like an short I sound. Short I being like will. So here's an example of that. So this I sound is will, husband, right? It sounds similar to that, husband. Then we have Sarah's children, children, children. Okay. Again, where's my little dot here in the middle to show that there is space, children. Okay. We have daughter, 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 and then I'm putting this separation there. Son, son, son. We have grandchildren, grandchildren, grandchildren. So notice this D often becomes silent when you say it quickly. The grandchildren. You don't really hear the D sound. You don't hear the children. And when we say it fast, sometimes the D is dropped. The grandchildren. You can hear the D when you say children. It's there, but for grand, the D disappears. So we say the grandchildren. Okay, then we have granddaughter, and we have grandson. So I'll say it again. Granddaughter, granddaughter, sorry again. And then we have grandson, grandson, grandson. As far as I know, since these are compounded words, like that means there are two words put together. Grand's supposed to mean like the generation before, or maybe separated by two generations, right? So it's not their child's anymore, it's their child's child. So that separation by putting grand at front is supposed to represent that. I would say that since it is a compound word, there's two stresses taking place. Is when you say grand. So again, we have grandchildren. And that is the representation for it. Grandchildren. And then I think the I is also kind of stressed here. Grandchildren. So again, if you know where the stress is, you're just putting more of a stress on the first word here. It is a compounded word, so you kind of treat them as two separate words. So think of grand and then children. And I'm gonna put this in little quotations here, just to give you an idea that this is like the impression. It's two words added together. There we go. Grand and children. Okay, so treat it the same as this one too, and grandson. So granddaughter and grandson. Treat it as if you're saying grand first, and then whatever is the next one attached to it. It also applies to like grandfather and grandmother. So in this case, treat it like they're two separate words, just putting them together. So that's why identifying the stress can be kind of hard with this. It's because there is a primary stress and there is a secondary stress. But I won't go into much detail of that. But this is a case where you might get confused by it because these are compounded words. So just remember that they're both kind of stressed. So compound words are kind of treated as two separate words in terms of pronunciation. That's what I'm trying to get at. So like I mentioned, we have grandfather, grandfather, grandfather. Then we have grandmother, grandmother, grandmother. Okay, so I put the star there as a reference for it too. I'm gonna put that here. There we go. That's the reference. Then we have grandparents, grandparents, grandparents. So again, grand and then parents. So parents is just treated as like this one here. Parents. The stress is at the front. Parents. Okay? And what you notice when you say this word, we don't say parents. We don't say parents. At least not in US. I don't know if UK does that. I have not heard them say the word parents. So I don't know if they say parents or if they say parents. Because in American English, we say he. He. Yes. Parents. Okay? Parents. And that's your separation here. Parents. Why did I put an H? You don't need an H there. It's just he. Okay, there you go. Parents. Then we have brother, brother, brother. Then we have Mia. This is Mia's family, so the reference is her. And we have, she's technically the sister. Don't think there's any more from this page, so we're moving on. We have growing up. I noticed my battery's almost low. It says on the bottom corner I have 9% left. No worries, I have a charger right here, so we should be good. Also, I'm just adjusting myself in my seat, so don't mind me. Okay, we have growing up. We have baby, the baby, baby, baby. And then this one is more of both words are stressed. So we have baby. Okay, so again, these two semicolons or these two colons are supposed to represent stress or like elongation. Elongated vowels. And usually this is only used for vowels. I don't think there are any elongation when it comes to the consonants in English. Because if we are to roll our R's, we have a specific symbol for that. This symbol right here is supposed to represent rolling R's. Okay, so the rolling R sound in Spanish, like rápido, ra, ra, that sound, that's the rolling R sound. So it's represented by this R sound in IPA. Okay, moving on, we have toddler, toddler, toddler. So again, gonna be at the front, toddler. Okay, we don't say toddler, it's toddler. So it's spelled with two D's because there's a rule in English that if you put two consonants next to each other, that means the vowel before it will become a soft. So this is the soft O sound, which is basically represented as the ah sound. The sound here. Ah, as in hot. Okay. Next, we're looking at the next word, girl. 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 We have boy. 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 And we have teenagers. Teenagers. So this is an example of primary and secondary stress. Or I could just represent it as this. Teenagers. Oops. We need that upside down. There we go. Teenagers. So notice I have this 2 dots over here. I'm gonna fix the dots. My bad. So these 2 dots are representing that the A is being elongated. Teenagers. Okay. Next we have adults. 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 I know there's another pronunciation. I think British people, I'm just starting to remember, like, I was watching this one TV show when I was younger, on Cartoon Network called Kids Next Door. And I remember, like, there was this character in Kids Next Door that number 1 has a British accent, because his name was Nigel, I believe. And he would say adults. So there's actually 2 pronunciations here. We have, again, a, and then the space between them to show adults. Ol. So it has an ol sound. So I'm gonna argue and use this as my representation. Adults. Whereas I believe this might be UK. And then the second one, like I mentioned, we have adults. It's a schwa. Adults. And notice that adults. Adults, adults. This can kind of go up for interpretation here, so we can kind of say adults with an O. LTS. Or adults. And that is the interesting thing about pronunciation with IPA. Technically, there's no right way to say a word. It's just depending on what environment you came from. So you could say adults with an O being there, or adults that there's no O sound. So it can be the representation. It's really up to the person hearing it. Adults. I hear the O and I hear the dark L sound in the middle. Because the dark L is supposed to make the sound like la. So if it's like, it sounds like there's a sound before the vowel. So for example, L, ol, that ending sound ol, that is a dark L sound. Versus when you say the vowel at the front, you can say L, L. Elephant. L. So the elephant has the perfect example with the first word, L. That is the light L at the front, L. And then L being dark L. So adults, adults. So honestly, potato, potato, it's your choice. Pronunciation, whatever you grew up listening to or saying. We're moving on to 19.5. We have family, Tim's family. We have Tim as a reference. And we have a sister. Sister. Then we have brother-in-law. So treat again. These two are kind of treated as, you know, as your compounded words. So brother-in-law, the stress is in the front. Brother-in-law. Brother-in-law. Then we have, oops, I don't know what happened. We have nephew. 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 Okay. Then we have niece. Niece. And we have niece. Okay. So sorry, I said it many times. I should have said the slow version. So niece. 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 So it's still the same. To pronounce this word, you can kind of remember the word knees, but niece and knees are kind of different. So let me I want to put this as a mental note. You might argue that they sound similar or the same, but they're not. So niece has this C sound that sounds like an S. Versus if you say your knees, this S actually sounds like a Z sound. Okay? Z. So, my niece, my knees. Can you hear the difference? My niece, my knees. So you can kind of tell them apart, but it can be argued that they are similes or close to similes. It's only that S sound versus the Z sound that takes place. Okay, so enough of that fun fact. Anyways, we have Vic's family. So in Vic's family, he has a stepmother. 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 You can also say stepmom or stepmom. 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 Then we have father. 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 And then dad again. Dad. And then Vic has step siblings. So they didn't write a note for this, but you would call them step siblings. Okay. So we have stepsister, 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 stepbrother, stepbrother, stepbrother. So again, treat step dash to the grand pronunciation rule. So when I say treat step to the grand pronunciation rule, what essentially I'm saying is that when you say step, it is considered a compound. So I'm gonna say compound noun. So you want to treat it as if there's more than one word. So there is it's usually the first word is the typically the first or second word. I think okay, I'm thinking about it. Because usually the first stress or the first syllable or the second syllable of a word is usually the stress location of nouns in English. But when you have compound words, this one is kind of jumbled because you might be thrown off like, oh, step and si. So step siblings are basically similar. So step is kind of fast. Step siblings. Step siblings. So the stress is in definitely the first one here. So usually when you have compounded words, usually it's the first syllable that has the stress, that holds the primary stress. But since it's connected to siblings, siblings would kind of take on the second stress because it is a compounded word. So yeah. And then we have Vic over here as our point of reference. We're now moving on to relationships. We have male, male, male. We have female, female, female. So again, it's going to be at the front here. Because if I want to say the second stress here, which is the male part, it would be female, female, and that sounds really weird. So you want to say female, female, female. Then we have boyfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend. So again, boyfriend and girlfriend, treat these as compound word rules. And the stress usually takes place in the first syllable. So boy and fre is going to be stress for the most part. So boy and friend. And then the same with girl and friend. So next we have girlfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend. We have partner, partner, partner. So you might also notice that the T is not enunciated, which I mean is like you're not aspirating it. Aspirating is like ta, 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 that ta sound that you're hearing, that I'm kind of spitting the air out, like for better words. That is called aspiration in linguistics. So we don't say partner, we just say partner. So there is a T sound, but there's like a very quick stop, and then you continue on saying the word. I can't remember what it's called. I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's basically the sound is there, but it's not enunciated, so there's no aspiration. So partner. Next we have husband, 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 and wife, wife, wife. Okay, let's see how much time we have. We might be able to do chapter 20 today. I'm actually feeling a little tired. Again, I'm still recovering from insomnia and stress. Things are getting better for me slowly, so I apologize if I'm just feeling kind of out of it today. I'm gonna go ahead and check quickly how many pages is chapter 20. It's a little bit much. To be honest with you guys, I will try and at least do half of it or part of it today, and then I will hand out the homework for part 20 maybe next week. Yeah, when we get there. Okay, let's just see how far I can go for today. We have early years. In English, the word did can be used for emphasis to assure someone that a past action really happened. It's useful for describing past events and memories. So you would hear the word did as an emphasis here. Vocabulary, baby equipment, and parenting, new skills describing your childhood. So 20.1, key languages, past simple with emphasis. To emphasize a verb in the past simple, replace it with did plus the base form of the verb. So past simple, you called your dad about babysitting Kim tonight, didn't you? No, but I did call Aunt Sue. She'll be here soon. So the word did gives emphasis. So again, it's just saying, yes, I did do it, right? And notice the verb here, did, is followed by the base form of the main verb. So remember that you don't say double past tense, which is a different rule here. So if we did plus verb, and this one has ed with it, this would be known as the past progressive or past perfect. So this is different. So this is just to remind you guys that this is different. I'm also gonna fix this. Hold on one second. Okay, so did. So if you say the word did, for example, and then you put a past with a verb with an ed form or the past tense form, this would be called past perfect. It is not the same, even though they do overlap. Okay, so you can use the word like, oh, I don't know if it's did, technically speaking. I'm trying to remember something. I did made it. It doesn't make sense. Ah, okay. That's where I got confused. Okay. So it's not the word did, but the word is actually had. So had is already in the past tense. Okay. We have the word have, which is already in the past tense, becomes had. It's going to be had, and then verb ed, that's past perfect. So this is perfect. Okay. So this is past perfect. So they're not the same thing. Using the word did is just to show emphasis. So further examples, past simple with emphasis. I thought you asked Maya to put away these clothes. I did ask her. I think she forgot. Are you sure you bought the birthday cake? Yes, I did buy it. It's on the top shelf. Okay, so again, if you hear all of these words, it just sounds, there's a tone of, like it mentioned here, emphasis. That's all what the presence of did does, is that it shows emphasis that yes, the action was done, and it's showing a little bit more of an exaggeration that it was completed. Again, it's more of a choice. I would say did versus verb past. Okay, so we have verb plus verb base versus verb past. This goes to show tone. Okay, there's a shift in tone difference here. So you could say, I thought you asked Maya to put away these clothes. I did ask her. I think she forgot. So if I say I asked her, I'm gonna put the word but, I think. Okay, so notice this tone difference. This is an example of it here. So I did ask her. I think she forgot. So it's just showing emphasis that you took accountability, that, you know, saying the word I, like I took accountability and I did ask her. So don't tell me that I didn't ask her, because I did. You know, it's kind of, it can kind of sound a little bit sassy. So it can sound sassy. So if I say sassy, someone with attitude, it can come off with that. That's what I'm saying by the tone. So when you say, yes, I did do it. So notice the way that I said it just now. It kind of sounds that I am a little bit exaggerated. I'm annoyed. There's more of a strong, it has a much more strong tone. Okay, but I also leave it up to your interpretation as well, because sometimes people just say did is not really a strong tone, but I do consider it as a strong tone because it shows more emphasis, it has more emotions behind it. So yes, I did ask her. I think she forgot. Okay, so I feel like this one, again, another thing that I kind of got from it by just saying it again, it also sounds defensive. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm providing more ideas of how to use these words, and I feel like it can kind of give you an idea of how to say things. So sometimes you can say, yes, I did it. Okay? So it sounds, there's an emphasis, it can sound sassy with attitude, it can sound defensive, or it can just sound like, you know, you take responsibility, accountability. If that makes sense to you guys. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but I feel like it's a strong tone in that sense, versus if I say, I asked her, but I think she forgot. This tone, notice how I said it without using did, and I used asked being the main verb. It sounds like, it sounds a little bit more tamed, you know? So this sounds... sounds soft, maybe even neutral. Like, it doesn't sound like this person sounds aggressive or assertive when they speak. So, yes, I did ask her. I think she forgot. Okay? So it does give a sense of sassy with attitude. It sounds defensive. It sounds with accountability. Because if we were to say I did, for example, okay, did you do the crime? Yes, I did it, Your Honor. The did sounds kind of more like, oh yeah, I take accountability for it. It just really depends on accountability. Okay, I'm gonna come back and use that example because I just realized I use it as the main verb and there's no second verb. So I'm gonna say, yes, I did steal the recipe. Yes, I did eat the cake. So that sounds like you're taking more accountability. So again, it has more power because you're taking accountability for what you've done. It can be sassy. Yes, I did call her, but I think she forgot. Okay, so that sounds more sassy in attitude and also defensive too. So I just feel like if you use the word did, it has emphasis, but it also has sass. It has defensive, and it has accountability. But without it, it sounds a bit more neutral and soft, so it's less aggressive to people. Yes, I asked her, but I think she forgot. So I feel like it's just more neutral in comparison. So that's a little bit of, I think there's a level for this. I can't even remember the linguistic terminology, you guys. I'm just that tired. Now I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy. Pragmatics, I think. I might be wrong. I apologize. But yes, that's like on a much more advanced level of understanding how to use words in English. Some have a stronger tone than others, which is why speaking English or expressing yourself can be a challenge, because you want to think about how you represent yourself. Also, it's starting to bother me when I look at the word tone. I'm gonna make it closer. There you go. It's closer to each other. Okay. We have 20.3, rewrite the sentences using the past simple with emphasis. We said, she worked hard at her homework. She did work hard at her homework. I'm gonna go ahead and answer these questions myself, so feel free to pause the video. After I read it, I'm gonna write it right away. Just for the sake of time, because I will try and attempt to complete chapter 20 today, I am not gonna write the whole sentence. I'm just gonna highlight what's gonna be deleted. So for example, here, she worked hard at her homework. I'm gonna put the parentheses on here. Worked, right? Sorry, I don't have to put that big of a parentheses. And we know the word that she represented is this one. Did work hard, okay? So, I behaved well as a child. I'm gonna go ahead and put a parentheses there, and I'm gonna change it to how they want me to do it. So, I did behave well as a child, okay? And then you notice I put 3 dots here just to show you that the rest of the sentence is the same. So that's all that there is there. He took his lunchbox to school. We're gonna change this. I'm also gonna delete the first part, so I'm just gonna focus on here. So it would become did take. He did take his lunchbox to school. Okay. 3, I enjoyed the children's performance. I'm gonna highlight enjoyed. I did enjoy the children's performance. He gave his teacher a birthday card. He did give his teacher a birthday card. And she played quietly at Anita's house. She did play quietly at Anita's house. Okay. Also, I noticed I didn't put E here. There you go. I did take. Okay. Next. We have 20.4, spoken emphasis. The important words in a sentence may be said more loudly or in a different pitch to make them sound more emphatic. So, again, when you say more emphatic, that means stressing a particular word. Okay, so you can actually, so like I mentioned, this stress here makes the word did sound more sassy. It can also sound defensive. Okay, those are the typical tones for it. Or it can also be used as exasperation. Exasperation being like, oh my god, yes, I did it. So notice how I said it with that tone. That's exasperation. It's like, it's obvious that you're giving attitude or you're tired and you're like kind of frustrated at the same time. So you're exasperating. Here they said, are you sure you called her? Yes, I did call her. So notice how I said that. Next, a lot of people, this is something I do want to highlight here. If you stress the word you, this can often result with defensive response. And I think this is really important because sometimes you guys do this when you're fighting someone, or if you're annoyed of someone, you subconsciously start stressing the word you, because let's do a comparison between them. So first, let me show you the actual reading, with sure being the highlight. Are you sure you called her? Okay, versus versus are you sure you called her? So notice how I said you, right? So if I were to say you as a stress when we're like, let's say we're in a middle of a debate, a heated argument, or just fighting in general, are you sure you called her? What does that tell me as a listener is that I sound like I'm incompetent. It makes me sound like you're attacking me as a person. So oftentimes, if you stress the word you to be more emphatic, it can lead to a defensive response from the person that you're talking to. So if you can try to avoid that, if you want to, you can actually do another emphatic one, is just stressing the word called. So this is more of the stress on what is the most important thing in the question here. And I feel like this is important to talk about because that can lead to different results, or depending on who you're talking to. It's kind of frustrating if you end up talking to someone who gets defensive no matter what, because there are times you talk to people who are just like really defensive no matter what you say. Especially because in the first place, this entire question can become a little bit triggering to some people. But if you're careful of your where your emphatic pronunciation is, then it should be able to be like, it should be able to dodge that defensive response, hopefully, from people. But just be careful what you say. So another one could be, are you sure you called her? So notice I said called, and I emphasized that out of everything else in the sentence. Then this would be more of a highlight of action. Okay? The emphasis on the sentence is talking about action. Being like, are you sure you called the person, or you texted them? Did you call or text them? Right? So this is more of an attention. The emphatic emphasis is focusing on the action itself. It's not focused on the person that you're accusing them that they that they were incompetent. So okay, I'm gonna write extra notes for you guys. So if you highlight the word sure, it's just, how do I say this? If you say sure, it's I just had the word. I was gonna say it's not compatibility. That's not the word I'm looking for. Competency. Okay. When you say sure, this is attack the character, the person. Okay. So this is why I'm highlighting them here. So be careful when you say this or whatever you emphasize, because they can kind of give a person a different impression. So again, are you sure you called her? And then if they said, yes, I am sure, you know? So notice my response is, yes, I am. So it's more defensive, it's more sassy. If I say, are you sure you called her? It's meant to be like, okay, are you sure that you did do it? Or maybe you are having a long day and you forgot, you know? And then the appropriate response would be, yes, I did call her. Like, yes, I did call her. I made sure to double check. I did that earlier today, blah, blah, blah. It can come off sassy, defensive again. And if you say, are you sure you called her? Then that's where the question is, what was your mode of contact? Did you email them? Did you call them? Did you text them? Did you contact them through social media, like DMs, for example? Or you messaged them on not a message on Instagram. You messaged them on maybe Facebook or Meta, whatever you call it now. Or through Discord, for example. So you can see wherever you emphasize the word, when you stress a particular word, can kind of give you an impression as a listener to see what are they calling you out for, right? So yeah, just be careful with like spoken emphasis, because you don't know what people are gonna respond to them. there are the cases, like I mentioned earlier, that no matter what what you stress, they will become defensive no matter what. It's just a reflection of a person who does not have the ability to understand what is being asked from them. They just see it as overall, it's just a triggering question. The reason why I say that is because I have met people who I asked this question from, and no matter what I like, whichever word I emphasize, I did avoid the word you. I never said are you sure. I said are you sure, which is the stress on sure. They would get defensive no matter what. So yeah, sometimes you'll meet people who are like that, and it's just best to just ignore it. But yeah, expect something along of sassy, defensive, or exasperation as a response to your question. Okay. Next, we have underline the word in each sentence that should be stressed and say the sentence out loud. We have Jane really did love that story about the bear. So for this exercise, I'm actually going to play an audio because technically any word choice can be used as a emphatic word or just a word you want to stress and emphasize. But we're going to listen to the audio and compare which one that you hear. I'm going to play it once and then I'm going to underline what I hear as my next answer. Feel free to pause if you watch this video after the stream, and we're gonna compare. Okay. Oops. Whoops, sorry guys, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to open this on another page here so you can see the questions. Put that there. And the question here is 20.5. Okay.
I did tell the babysitter to arrive early.
I'll play it one more time.
I did tell the babysitter to arrive early.
Okay. And I'm sorry if the music is too loud. Let me try one more time. Okay.
I did tell the babysitter to arrive early.
And what I'm underlining is did. Okay, next one.
It's true. She did say Papa today.
Again.
It's true. She did say Papa today.
Okay, and then we have... You can actually stress also true if you wish, because they would say it's true. So, you can technically say true too if you wish. But the real one, it should be did. Okay. Number 3.
We did invite her to the birthday party. We did invite her to the birthday party.
So we have did again. Number 4.
I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked. I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked.
Okay, let me hear it one more time.
I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked.
So I really did. So notice he pronounced it very harshly, saying did. So that's another way to identify it. In real life conversation practice, we don't really say, I really did enjoy it. Sometimes you can hear us say, I really did enjoy it. Also, I apologize, guys. I was looking through my chat and it doesn't look like anyone was here for my tablet. But it looks like Twinkle Annika and Mr. Pro 5511 and Alec were here earlier. So hello and sorry I couldn't see your message earlier. For some reason, I just couldn't see it on Instagram for some odd reason. But yeah. Okay. Let me go ahead and double check too. Everything so far is good. And... 5.
Molly did ask if she could play with your toys.
So again here, for the sake of this exercise, we're just highlighting did. Molly did ask if she could play with your toys. Okay? So, with what I mentioned earlier, I do want to experiment just a little bit. Let's talk about the tone here. I did tell my babysitter to arrive early. So notice, what did I just stress? I did tell my babysitter to arrive early. So when I say it like that, and I stress the word babysitter, it sounds like the hidden word I'm trying to say here is I'm blaming them. So, I did tell the babysitter to arrive early. I did tell the babysitter to arrive early, so it sounds like I'm blaming them, right? So I did tell the babysitter, I did tell the babysitter to arrive early. So again, emphasize on blaming again, if I were to say this. Okay, so again, it sounds like I'm blaming them again if I say the word early. But I'm also stressing that I gave them a specific time. Again, number 2, it's true. She did say Papa today. It's true. She did say Papa today. It kind of sounds a little bit weird to say today, right? So I would say did is the most appropriate in a sentence. You could kind of say it's true. She did say Papa today. So again, if I say, it just shows action is being emphasized. We did invite her to the birthday party. We did invite her to the birthday party. So we're talking about the subject as the main point of topic. We did invite her to the birthday party. So notice how I said birthday. Technically, I would say birthday party as more of the stress. We did invite her to the birthday party. So notice how I'm stressing birthday and party a little bit more obviously, because we're talking about, again, the subject. So, or the specific event here. So you might be wondering, like, okay, why are you emphasizing birthday party? Because it can be a different event. So let's say we are talking about a friend that maybe fell out of the friend group. You might say something like, yeah, we did invite her to the birthday party. So notice how I said I did on that sentence just without thinking. Yeah, we did invite her to the birthday party. We just didn't invite her to the tennis meeting with all of us hanging out tonight. So notice that I'm stressing that the emphasis is that there was an event that took place and we invited this friend, but we didn't invite them to the second event. So sometimes the emphasis can fall under a specific event. Again, it's depending on the context and who's talking about it. Number 4, I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked. Sometimes when I hear this, interestingly, when you hear the word really, I think about the fact that it's more of like, I'm not really sure. Or like why I'm doing this, for example. Just so you know, my Instagram just cut out just now. I noticed it too. So this is why I have everything in my tablet in front of me, just so I can keep monitor of like what's happening. But it's okay. I'm not gonna go open Instagram again and put on another live stream. I'm just gonna continue this on YouTube. I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked. In this instance, what I'm trying to say is that when I say really, sometimes I can be a little bit like sarcastic. Sometimes. Okay. It can sound sarcastic sometimes. I really did enjoy the cake Lucy baked. You should try it too. So notice the way of my the way I'm saying it, and my expression doesn't match my voice. There's sarcasm there. It's like, no, it's not good. Don't try it. And it's like usually hinting to the opposite. okay? Like, do the opposite of what I'm saying. Don't do it, you know? It's usually the facial body, with the facial expression or the body language. Sorry, I said facial body. The facial expressions and the body language. If they don't match with what you're saying, sometimes it shows sarcasm, or do the opposite of it, you know? So it could be to avoid telling someone that their food is not good, but that just depends if someone can pick up sarcasm. Interestingly, not a lot of people understand sarcasm. I know I've heard stuff like the Japanese people, like in their culture, they don't have sarcasm, so they don't understand it. Not until they move to America and kind of see how sarcasm is being used in text or in speech and conversation, they see it. I also have a friend who I'm sarcastic around, and she just doesn't know how to give sarcasm either. Because sometimes she says stuff and I'm like, I take it at face value because she's not using a tone that shows that she's sarcastic, you know? So yeah, sometimes sarcasm is really hard to catch. So that's apparently a thing. So yeah. We have number 5. Molly did ask if she could play with your toys. Molly did ask if she could play with your toys. So again, the emphasis here would be more on action. So if I say, Molly did ask if she could play with your toys, okay? So I'm emphasizing more of, okay, she did do the action, but we're specifically looking at a specific subject again. So we're trying to specify what is the subject here, in terms of, sorry, the object here. I'm gonna also put a slash here just in case. So Molly did ask if she could play with your toys. So it's not just any toy, it's your toys. And you said yes, right? So as you can see here, the way when I stress the word your toys and I followed up with an example or continuation where I said it's not any other toy, it's your toy. It's just to show that, you know, she took accountability, or to show that the student did ask someone's permission, but they forgot that they gave permission or wasn't listening when they said yes, because that's what happens in real life. So yeah, wherever you stress the word, that's usually what takes place. All right. So with Instagram going down, I think it's a good time for me to actually end the stream here. We will continue 20.6 and the rest of chapter 20 next week. I will also, yeah, it's still a lot to cover. So I think I should be able to finish chapter 20 by next week, it seems. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and change to our next session here. Just finishing up our stream. We're done with English for everyone, and we have arrived to questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions. I don't know what's up with my Instagram account. I don't know why it ended this stream so early. That's just how it is. Like back then, what happened was when I was streaming, I could go up to 2 hours and still keep going, which was interesting because I don't know if it was an update or whatever, but I was able to stream longer than just 60 minutes. But for some reason, I'm ending my stream within 60 minutes, 70 minutes, even less right now. I don't know if it's just gonna expand if I keep streaming in the future, but we shall see. But in any case, that's it for today's chapter, for chapter 19 and 20. I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest and probably do more research for tomorrow's live stream and the day after. Just a heads up, I might not be able to stream tomorrow just because tomorrow is a holiday, so I might sleep in just to catch in on sleep. I will let you guys know. So I will try to message you guys 1 hour before the stream to let you know if I will be streaming or not. But just expect, if I don't message, I will most likely be streaming. If I do message, I won't be streaming. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm just kind of off this week. I'm still trying to recover. I got sick again. I don't know if you can hear it. My left nose is really stuffy and runny at the same time. I got sick again. So just when I came back from my my jet lag, I got sick again from my kids. So like a lot of my kids are coughing. They all have some sort of flu going on. So it just really sucks that this is just coming around right now at this time. In any case, yeah, so I digress on that conversation. Again, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, you can leave a comment on this video on YouTube, or you can leave a comment on this on the thread for this specific date and you can just leave comments there and I will respond to it and make a thread out of that. Okay. So I go live every Tuesday to Thursday. Apologies again for this week is just kind of off for me. I'm still, I don't know, I just keep getting sick, guys. I'm really sorry. Like, as either I'm mentally like not okay and just need a lot of rest, or I'm actually sick, or I don't know. It's just been like that for these past few weeks, so hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things next week or the week after. I'm just giving myself some grace. It's just been kind of a hard transition coming back to work after being away for like a week or so from streaming. And yeah, next week, every Tuesday, we have English for Everyone, so we will continue chapter 20 to 21, hopefully next week. Or I'll just finish chapter 20, then 21 can be the week after that. Okay. If you'd like to join the Discord group, which is where I'm the most active on, you can join you can find the link in the description box below on YouTube, or if you're on my Instagram, click on my profile page, go click my link. I think it's Linktree is what I have the link as, and then when you open Linktree, there should be a button there that says join the Discord group, and just click that. It's free, and yeah, that's about it for today's session. Alright, so with that being said, yeah, I need to get some rest. I'm actually feeling kind of tired today, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and head out now, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning, hopefully. Again, I'll update you on how I'm doing tonight. There might be a chance of cancellation, just be prepared for that. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, so I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Drink some water, stay hydrated, eat something healthy, and get a lot of rest, which I will be doing shortly after I end the stream. Alright, so see you guys tomorrow morning, hopefully. If not, maybe Thursday, maybe next week. We'll see how it goes. Apologies for that again. So, we'll see you then. Bye guys. Take care.